Hey everyone, this is Nick from Mecha Warehouse, and I'm back today with weekly update number 49. And let's just jump into it. Week in review. So first up, this past week we had the Builder Showcase at Open House. I've been talking about it for a while. We had a pretty good showing. I had a good time. As far as I know, everybody else who showed up had a good time or did a pretty good job lying to me, which is probably the case. But we had a pretty good showing. We got to see some incredible builds, which was a lot of fun to see people share their work and kind of see what people have been up to and things like that. We had a lot of fun also with the speed build contest. I did not win, which was disappointing. I guess I need to practice more. It's been a couple of years since I built a Maganac, but congrats to Phil who beat me by a little bit, but he did beat me and won himself a nice MG Zaku ver.ka. It was a good event. Really glad that we were able to have it. People were able to come and enjoy it with us. And for those of you who were unable to make it, we will have a live, not a live event, but we will have the vlog up. We'll do it as a premiere like we've done the other vlogs. Should be up on Tuesday. Haven't set the time yet. Hopefully around midday maybe. And should be a good way for everybody who wasn't able to make it to kind of experience the day with us. Moving on though, going from good to bad here. We've had more scalper attempts. We had one with that big restock a couple weeks ago. We had one with this most recent restock, I think. And had to kind of turn those people down. We had someone try to get like the last like 4 or 5 of like a half dozen items, give or take, and couldn't let that happen, unfortunately. Thankfully we caught it. It wasn't a big deal. It was a little bit of a sketchy transaction to begin with, but we made sure to take care of that. But the other new thing is we had our first chargeback ever. And we believe it's a fraudulent chargeback, so somebody must have stolen a card. The order didn't look very sketchy in that it was a very like normal kind of order. You know, a few kits, a whole bunch of different tools and markers and different things that looks like somebody just stocking up for the hobby. But there was the chargeback, and it was reported as a fraudulent use or something like that. We're still doing our due diligence on it, trying to make sure that is what it was and trying to figure it out. But as a fairly sizable hit, it was not a small order, and it's a little bit painful to have all that stuff go out and basically we're not going to get paid for it. And hopefully it all works out okay, but it's not the end of the world. But it's definitely going to inform some of my reviewing process going forward for orders that might seem a little bit sketchy. We might do a little bit more due diligence to try not to get a loss like that again. But this is the first time we've been hit by any sort of fraud that I think has been successful, assuming that is what it is. And it's disappointing, but is what it is. Getting back to good news, we've got so much inventory. We've got a lot of stuff coming in. We've had some big shipments, and in some ways it doesn't feel like we've got a ton. I mean, it does, because the top shelves are kind of full. We're trying to figure out how to pack more stuff in here, and I know I've got more inventory coming, but we've been receiving big shipments. And I can tell that we have more stuff in, if only because, when I use the credit card on a weekly basis to pay for these orders, I pay down the card with what I have for spare capital, basically, to try to keep that card balance low, because our credit card limit isn't really high enough to cover everything we need for a month, or even what we need for more than like maybe a week or two. And I'm seeing that waterline kind of go up the past few weeks because of the size of the shipments we've received. And because the stock has been deeper, things like the giant Zaku ver.ka shipment we received, all the tall geeses we got recently, tall gooses, long ducks, receiving all of those kits and having much more of them so they don't sell out instantaneously means that we've had stuff on the shelf, and that we haven't recouped all the money that we paid for those shipments in the first place as quickly, which is, I think, a good sign in a lot of ways, because it means we will have more and more stuff in stock long term as this happens more often. The bad news is it has the risk of potentially causing like cash flow issues and things like that. But that's just part of growth, and I've got plenty of options to go with to make sure we can pay for all this stuff going forward. So, but it is kind of exciting times seeing that growth, and I can see that growth both on our shelves and kind of on the balance sheet, so to speak. But all that said, let's move on. We'll talk about pre-orders. There are no new pre-orders this week, but I do want to talk about pre-orders because some more pre-orders are coming probably, hopefully Tuesday, but we'll see. I'm expecting to receive confirmations on our orders for Q4, so i.e. October, November, December of this year. We hopefully have a ton of stuff coming. I was told we would have that confirmation early this week. I'm filming this Thursday morning, so that means I haven't received it yet. I don't think it's going to come early this week anymore. But once I receive that, I'll have the confirmation to know how many of each of our pre-orders we're getting, and then we'll be able to put them up on the website. So this is all the stuff like the MG Virtue, all the new battle log kits from that new series that are going to be up. Kyokai Senki, something like that. Whatever that one was called. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head here. All that kind of stuff will be up and available for pre-order once we get those confirmations. So expect early next week there to be just a massive flood of new pre-orders on the website for Q4 stuff. And then we'll also know what else is coming in for the end of the year, which will be exciting to get our next large batches of kits coming in, hopefully. But so that's pre-orders for the week. Let's move on to restocks. And we've got some very interesting restocks this week. A few kits that are very popular, some kits that are not maybe as popular, but might be worth checking out. Most of these are in decent quantities. We have a few items that are perhaps lower quantities. So if any of these strike your fancy, jump on it quick and look before it might be too late. So first up, we got two Pokemon kits in. We've got Lugia and Garchomp. So if you're a Pokemon fan, these are both regular Pokemon. They're not like the Pokemon Quick or whatever they're called. I think they're regular kits. I'm not super familiar, but maybe somebody will have comments in the comments about it. We've got some more Build Divers stuff as well. Two more Planet System items. We've got the Nept 8 unit and the Nept 8 weapons. So pretty cool kind of designs, a little bit different. Worth checking out if you were a Build Divers Re-Rise fan. We also got, on the Build Divers Re-Rise, we've got the Tertium arms. These look like they're basically like, almost like wing binders and a rifle. And I'm not gonna lie, I snagged one of the damaged boxes we had of this and threw it on my shelf to take home because it's giving me ideas for some custom stuff that I might want to do. We also got the EX Vulkylander, another Re-Rise kit there, and then we've got one Build Fighters, the 00 Shia Quant, and not as many of these as I'd like, but I've had multiple people asking about them, so those will probably disappear pretty quick. We've also got a couple real grades in. We got a few of these Banshee Norns. I saw a really cool one of these at the showcase, painted by Phil with the whatchamacallit, color shift paints. It was really cool looking. And GPO1, Zephyranthes. So Stardust Memory fans, that's a cool kit right there. And actually started watching that with the wife this past week. We also got two of these Hello Kitty Zaku kits in. We also have the Hello Kitty RX-78 still in stock. The Zakus are the high grade, or not high grade, SDCS, so the cross silhouette frame versions, which I think is why they're partially why they're more popular than the RX-78 ones. But if you're into Hello Kitty or have someone in your life who is, those are pretty cool kits. Last time we had them, they flew. I imagine they'll be fairly popular this week. The two really big ones kit-wise, though, this week, we've got MG Epion. Last time we had this, we didn't get as many as we'd like, and they disappeared, you know, in maybe a few hours. We've got a lot more this time, but I expect they will probably go pretty quickly. And we also got the MG Strike Freedom. Not as many of these as I'd like either. Not sure how quickly they'll go, but not a huge stock of those. We also got a bunch of Bandai decals in. We've got the there's too many different sheets to list, but we've got a bunch that we haven't had before, as well as restocks on some that we had sold out of. So if you're into decals and you like the Bandai decals, worth checking out. We also got some more Mr. Color, Mr. Hobby paints, mostly just restocking things there. And then we also got, and that's loud and annoying. I wonder if you can hear that. Our neighbor has been back, one of our neighbors, and they've got trucks and forklifts and stuff going on now that they're around. Anyway, the one other item we got, Gundam markers. These are two new ones. This is GM 501 and 502, and these are basically varnish markers, essentially. Clear coat. There's a gloss and a matte. Clear coat, I think they're intended for use with the airbrush system, so if you do that and you want to be able to top coat using a marker, you could use this. I imagine they might also be useful for like varnishing kind of spot areas with the marker. I'm not sure if anybody's ever tried that because they're brand new, but might be interesting depending on how you use your markers. And with all that said, restocks are done, so let's move on to Q&A. So Q&A, this is the part of the video where I answer questions from you, the viewer, questions about Mecha Warehouse, about myself, about Gunpla, about pretty much anything. If you have a question you would like answered, post it down in the comments below, and I will make sure to get to it for next week's video. So let's get to it. First up, Crazy Rabbit asks, have you considered updating the website to show things that are in stock first, then everything else that's not like other websites, or is there a certain way that you have it organized? So Crazy Rabbit, this is a great question. We redid the website earlier this year, and when we did add a in-stock filter. So you can now, when you go on, and hopefully Santana can like grab a screen grab or something of this in action, if you go to that filter after looking at all products or whatever category you're interested in, the first filter category up on the top left, if you're on desktop, and I'm not 100% sure how to get to it if you're on mobile off the top of my head, but you can select in stock and it should show you only in stock items, which is I think better than you know, sorting by in stock status, and that will let you know which items that are available today, and then you can sort and filter by everything else that's on there. So great question. Let's move on. Rolling Fire. Hey Nick, I was wondering if the mech from your logo were to be real in the Gundam universe, what would be the equivalent when fighting a mobile suit? We talking like a GM, Zaku, others? This is a great question. I don't really know. There's a lot of things that we do know about Blue 01. We've got a rough approximation on the height. It's smaller than most like UC or even other Gundam series mobile suits, specifically measured in that we can fit it inside of a large warehouse. Probably taller ceilings than this, but it's not massive because of the warehouse. We know, what else do we even know about it, I guess? We know it's called Blue 01. I don't really know. The universe isn't fully fleshed out. We want to do that at some point and maybe build some backstory there. I would imagine it might be more grunt-ish, kind of, considering that there's multiple colors of the same mobile suit, but or the same robot, but we don't really have that kind of fully figured out yet. But that's a great question, and something I have to think about, I think, going forward. Okay, next one. Michael Foster asks, or says, I have a question. Would you consider selling larger vinyl stickers for windows and cars? And would you ever consider selling actual mobile suit stickers? Trying to get some more on my car and stuff, but I want them to be big and noticeable. So it's a great question. Michael, first off, I think larger vinyl stickers for windows and cars is a great idea and something I will put onto the idea list. It's something I would definitely consider. It's just a matter of, what order to tackle some of these custom items like that. On the flip side, though, I don't think we would ever make a sticker with like a Gundam on it. And the reason for that is pretty simple in that we don't own that IP, and everybody that makes a sticker that includes the IP of another brand, say like, a Gundam sticker, is violating that copyright. It is technically illegal. Bandai doesn't seem to go after and enforce that very strong. They're not like Disney, which goes after everybody. If you try to sell a t-shirt with Mickey Mouse on it, you can bet on your life that they'll probably find you and go after you. But they don't seem to do that for Gundam stuff for some reason. Maybe they will at some point. I don't want to find out what it's like to get sued by a big company for violating their IP. So when our competitors put out a sticker that's got Gundam stuff on it, they're technically, breaking the law in doing that. It's, I feel, an ethical thing that is not something you should do, and so that's why I will never do it. I think there are some places where you could get close, but that's kind of a story for another day. And so, long story short, no, we will probably never put out a Gundam sticker specifically, unless we get some sort of approval from them, which maybe will happen someday, I guess. Edwin Hernandez asks, what was the first Gundam kit you ever built? Mine was the OG 1144th Gundam Deathsythe that I built 20 years ago, back when Toys R Us had the wing kits. This is a great question. So there's two kits that I think were like my first two. I'm pretty sure I built the RX-78, the high-grade Revive HGUC 191, what I believe was my first kit. And I'm kind of glad that it was, because it's a really solid high-grade kit. The other one that I built, I think around the same time, was the HGUC 40 Zaku, which was dramatically less impressive as a first kit. I'm pretty sure it was that RX-78. I think I went into master grade soon after, but that was basically my first one. Next one, teenhamodic asks, is there a model kit that people seem to really like but you don't fancy for whatever reason? Psycho Zaku for me fit this category. An MG Zaku cost about $50, and the added extra price for the entire backpack is the same price. It's a great question. I'd say the two most recent ones that would come up, the HG Bound Dock. I don't like the Bound Dock. I think it looks silly. It doesn't look like a menacing robot. It looks like a bunch of large bell shapes that are kind of connected together. And the other one would be like the Zeong, the real grade Zeong specifically. I think the Neo Zeong looks pretty cool, but the original traditional Zeong, it's got like antlers and it's kind of big and bulky, but in weird ways. And it just doesn't really appeal to me. I can see why people like it. Not something I really care much for. But that was a great question. Thank you. Next question, Carlos Moreno asks, hello sir, do you know if you'll have the new ver.ka in December, and would you do pre-orders for it? Has the new ver.ka been announced yet? I don't think it has, and therefore I don't know, because I don't think I have orders in for it. I could be wrong though. It's been a little while since I looked at the end of the year order sheet. You can bet, though, if other stores will have it, we'll have it too. If other stores won't have it, then we won't have it. It's going to basically be supply-based. We order everything Gundam, at least everything kit-wise Gundam at this point. We're not super selective. Sometimes we order more or less of something based on how many we expect to come in, but not necessarily a yay or nay. And thank you for that question. Final question, RX-178 Mark II asks, will we have Secret Santa this year? Yes, we will. So if anyone's not familiar, we do have the Discord. Discord is an awesome app. We've got an amazing community, over 900 members now on the Mecha Warehouse Discord. It is a place where our customers can communicate with other customers, other people that are into the hobby. They share their work, they ask questions, they give people advice and tips. talk about new releases, and get all sorts of great perks like, for example, heads up on what's incoming as soon as it ships from our suppliers, so you can know kind of what's going to hit the shelves and plan accordingly. Usually a first heads up when restocks go live on the website, first heads up when pre-orders go live on the website, things like that. And it's a great place. If you have purchased from us before and you have not joined the Discord, look for that email in your inbox with the invite link, or send me a note, nick@mechawarehouse.com, or DM on one of the social platforms, maybe with your email address or order number that you placed in the past, so I can confirm that you're a customer and then send you an invite. But that community is a great place. And after saying all that, one of the great things we did last year was a Secret Santa. It was cool. We had a lot of people participate. We set up various Zoom meetings, so people were grouped into a Zoom, so everybody in that pool was kind of either giving or receiving a gift to somebody in that pool. And that way everybody would be able to open their presents, their Secret Santa gifts together. You get to see the person's face when they opened your gift, which I think is pretty cool. And you could directly essentially thank the person who gave it to you. And I think it was a really cool community event. One of the perks that we did on ours was, because we were administrating it, we gave people the option to opt in or out of letting Mecha Warehouse handle their personal information. Meaning that if you wanted to, you could opt out of your information being shared with somebody else. And so they would have to order from Mecha Warehouse and place a note in their order, and then we would handle the routing to make sure it got to the right person. And so you didn't have to share your information with some random person on the internet. I don't think we have a ton of serial killers and whack jobs on the Discord, but just in case, you were kind of covered. And I thought that was a really cool thing, and I think probably more than half, about half or more, opted for that, and it was kind of cool. So I do have plans to do the Discord again, or the Secret Santa on the Discord again, and I'm hoping we have hoping I have this new hire customer service person, customer experience specialist on the payroll to help me coordinate all the logistics of that. So great question. Thank you for asking it. And that's all I've got for questions this week. So that said, we're done with the video for this week. Once again, thank you all for watching. Catch you all next time.